So I recently made a video about all my finished games, but I also have tons of unfinished games that I actually have not completed over the past few years of doing game development. But what if I told you that having lots of unfinished game is actually a really good thing? And I know sometimes you just work on your game diligently and so hard on it and you realize, wow, this game really sucks. And it does happen a lot where you're just working through a project and you realize, this is not going to be something I want to release. That is normal, and it happens actually more frequently than not. The good thing is there's always a use for all these unfinished games. I'm going to tell you a couple of reasons why. So first and foremost is to identify the unused game or the unfinished one. If you haven't touched a project maybe more than 6 months, or even could it be more than a month, then that could be your game that you want to organize and recycle. So I have a folder where I keep all my pixel art, all my sounds, all organized into different categories that I have for my unfinished games. Even the really bad ones. Like if you have a bad pixel art, maybe you have a bad art that you think, oh, this is terrible, keep it, put it safe, and you never know when you'll go back to it and end up reusing it. The next thing you can do is identify why you end up making this game. Maybe you had a really good idea, or maybe it just didn't stand out too well, or maybe just the idea was great, but it was just too long, or it could be it was just not fun. In my case, I had an example where I had a game that I made. It wasn't actually anything, it's more core mechanics. I released it anyways on itch.io. I got some really good feedback from it, and I was able to make a nice game called Town of Poe. From it, then I started getting more understanding of what games, really are just fun, or what kind of games are interesting. I can still use the prototypes and use it into my other games, and really that's what you really want to do. Get all your prototypes, put them together, and you make a fun concept from your game. Releasing, of course, a game that you're not satisfied with can be critical as well, but it'll be more critical to get some player feedback, to redo maybe some of your game concepts or ideas. Even if your game is in a prototype state, it's always a good idea to show off your game, have players play it, or have your nephew or somebody play it. The important thing is to get feedback and just let them know, hey, be as honest as you can be. Because just think about it, a Steam player or maybe someone who could review might give you a worse review, and it's gonna cost your game a lot. So it's always better to have someone honestly review it and tell you, hey, this game could be better if you do this, or you do Y, or you can do Z, and then you can go from there. The biggest reason, of course, why maybe you're not finishing your game is because you lack motivation. And I hear this a lot, motivation is a big factor when it comes to not finishing your games, or maybe not even getting back to game development. I think usually in this case, what I do in my case is I set a goal. So like you guys know, I love doing game jams. I love that time crunch. I love the 9 days to make a game, or 2 weeks to make a game. That's why I hosted my own game jam. If you guys are interested, I have a Make Jam 10. I've been doing it for a while. I enjoy hosting game jams and figured this would be a nice way for me to set myself a nice goal. Currently, I do have a 2-week goal or 15-day goal to finish the tower defense. I'm working on that as well. And of course, there's other reasons why it could be as well that you're not finishing game. No, one could be is because maybe you have too much of a game concept and you're not breaking it down. So the big thing is you want to break down your game as much as you can. Set small goals, like maybe just reaching a small area, right? Or set something where you can just finish one little piece, and then of course, once you do that, celebrate those milestones. Say, hey, look, I just made it all the way up here, right? I did this all by myself, and I did this game development. Definitely the little achievements, the small things, just making your player walk. Those are small achievements that you can count. Don't recount the small things that you can do, and just keep it to yourself, right? Or even share it, of course. And of course, the more important thing to avoid that whole motivation or the lack of motivation to finish your game is take breaks, right? Maybe you just for a month you don't want to get back to your game. It happens, right? Right? Or maybe you want to just take a break in between, or you want to do a day off. That's fine. Take a break as much as you need. It's always important to take time off and then kind of replenish your energy and then get back to your game development. Of course, it could happen that maybe game development is just not for you. I know you kind of have to reflect back and think, hey, why did I originally start making games? Was it because I just wanted to make one game, or was it because I love playing that one certain MMO, or maybe that RPG I love so much? It could be the reason why maybe you're doing game development, or maybe you're doing game development for the wrong reason. So it's something you have to kind of like inner scope on. You're gonna have to feel yourself saying, hey, is this game development? Do I enjoy making just one game, or do I like making any kind of games? In my case, for sure, I just love the whole concept of game development. From doing the coding, doing the art, the modeling, even the marketing, even the YouTube sections for game devlog. Pretty much I enjoy it all. For me, if it were up to me, I would do this full time, but of course, I do have a full-time job, and it's part of why I love doing this thing, and I love doing game development. I can see myself doing it for a couple more years, right? So in this case, I can see myself also doing more YouTube. So if you guys like this content, make sure to like, subscribe it. I'm gonna try to keep my videos around this 5 to 6 minute mark, so I don't want to make it too long. I'll come up with more games that I have that I want to show off, and all those things I want to do. Okay guys, that's all I have for now. Bye for now.